Alrighty, showing 8:47. We'll go ahead and get started. We got a lot of talk about coming up here with some cold weather, so see if we can get started here. Hello, thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Gilmore, National Weather Service, New Orleans, Baton Rouge meteorologist located in Slaughter, Louisiana. We're going to go, like I said, just talk about a lot with the cold weather coming up. I know typically we do these Facebook Lives for hurricanes and severe weather. Obviously, we don't have either of those occurring right now, but we do have some what is looking to be some impactful winter, very cold temperatures coming across the area. We're talking about frigid cold temperatures with an Arctic air mass invading the southeast United States. We're going to kind of talk about everything we need to know about it and break it down day by day. That's going to be kind of the whole point here, because there's going to be a lot of changing weather conditions, we're going to have nice days ahead, and it's going to be turning really cold. People want to know also about the holidays and Christmas, so there is a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump right into it right now. First, this is what we're going to do. Since there's so much to talk about, I want to discuss things day by night, by day by night. So you see here, this is a timeline starting with Thursday going all the way through Saturday night, with the key message for that day or night, and then the forecast details on the very bottom. We're going to be posting this on Facebook and Twitter later so you can have a closer look with it. But we're going to start with what's going on tomorrow and on Thursday first. That's going to be the biggest focus here. So, whoops, let's see. Let me jump back there. There we go. So, let's see if we can jump ahead. There we go. So we're going to be talking about Thursday first. First, Wednesday and into Thursday. We're going to be seeing another cloudy and cool day on Wednesday. Highs in the mid-50s. Really not that bad of a day, just kind of colder than normal. We get into Wednesday night, still chilly, mid-upper 40s to low 50s. No rain chances. Then on Thursday, we're going to be relatively, I would say, cool to mild with highs in the 60s. Mostly cloudy skies, can't rule out some sunshine, and we do see that we have a chance, around a 20% chance of rain with the approaching cold front that'll be coming later that day. So what we're going to be really messaging here as I go back, like I was talking about, look at that forecast details where we're saying cold weather preparations need to be completed by this day. So if we go back to that, this is the days that you have to prepare for it. And we're going to talk more about this at the very end of at the very end of this Facebook Live, where we talk about what you can do now to prepare for this cold weather coming up. So going into it, now we know what's going on Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to be talking about Thursday night. The key message here is going to be falling temperatures and dangerous cold temperatures. Temperatures going to be plummeting over the night as a cold front passes through the area. Hard freeze likely after midnight with dangerous wind chills due to the fact we're going to be having those freezing temperatures and high winds on the backside of that cold front. So this is where we're talking about when we're talking about fast changing weather conditions. There's your 6 p.m. Thursday temperatures, 50s to 60s ahead of the front. Then the cold front's going to sweep through the area, and by 6 a.m. Friday, if you were out that evening on Thursday and you wake up early Friday, you're going to wonder what in the world just happened, because temperatures are going to be changing over 30 to 40 degrees. They're going to be dropping by that much in only 12 hours. So that is going to be a huge Arctic plunge of cold air coming through the area. Hard freeze conditions are going to be very likely across pretty much the entire area, just about the entire area. Exception may be far that southeast Louisiana coastline, but again, so prepare for that. That's going to be 6 p.m. Thursday into 6 a.m. Fridays, where we're going to have that cold front come through, and we're going to see fast changing weather conditions across the area. So how cold is it going to be as we get into early Friday morning? There to your top left is going to be the range of temperatures we're expecting. We're talking about temperatures in the teens to maybe even the 20s for some areas across the South Shore. So this will be a hard freeze for many locations. And there's your minimum wind chill on the right. So that's going to be primarily during that Friday morning time frame when we have high winds and very cold temperatures. We're talking about single digits, teens to single digits, and yes, it is possible we could see sub-zero wind chills for southwest Mississippi and maybe some of the Florida parishes. So that's why preparation is going to be key in this aspect. We don't want anyone to be out for a long duration of time. We want people to protect the 4 Ps. But again, we're going to talk about that more towards the end of the briefing. So going ahead, now that we know what's going on Thursday night into Friday morning, let's talk now about Friday during the day. The key message there is bitter cold. It's going to be bitterly cold all day long. Highs barely making it to the low to mid 30s. And yes, there's going to be some places that may not even get above freezing. So due to the fact that we're still going to be having some gusty winds, dangerous wind chills will be persisting all day. So what we're talking about on Friday, here's your high temperatures on the top left. We're seeing, like I said, some areas, Macomb, range there only in the 20s for highs. Barely getting to near freezing for Baton Rouge, maybe above freezing for Pascagoula. Slidell, you'll be flirting with freezing. So again, really going to be a cold and blustery day, just not a good day overall. Not a type of weather that we're really used to down here. So this is just going to really be a shocker for many that we've had. We've had some cool days recently, but this is going to be a really big wake-up call to that, the fact that winter is here. So again, there's your duration below freezing on the right. Be aware that that's a 24-hour duration below freezing starting 12 a.m. Friday through 12 a.m. Saturday. So you see, again, with some locations that may not even go above freezing. That's where we're going to be talking about areas near Baton Rouge up to Macomb, getting into Washington Parish as well. Maybe temporarily, maybe for a few hours above freezing for the North Shore, and maybe a little bit more than that for the South Shore. So again, that's where we're going to be preparing for what could be a long duration freeze event for a large part of the area. Now, with that front passing through, the winds are going to be howling. We'll likely have a wind advisory with the likelihood of gale warnings across marine areas, and we are wanting to advertise the likelihood for quick changing and dangerous marine conditions for those in small vessels. This is a type of situation you need to be aware if you have any marine plans, any marine interests across the time frame between Friday and Saturday. The fact this front will be so sharp and the wind gradient will be so fast, we're going to be seeing quick changing conditions, which for vessels that venture far from shore may have some difficulty trying to return back to shore due to the fact the winds will be increasing so fast. So you see on the right, that's the probability of seeing greater than 39 mile per hour wind gusts from 12 a.m. Friday through 12 a.m. Saturday. And you see those bright colors, that's because that's a high chance. So those winds will be howling across the marine areas, higher than they will be across the land areas. But even so, in the land areas, they'll still be gusty. We're talking about wind gusts around 30 to 40 miles per hour, and due to the fact the winds will be coming from the northwest, that South Shore area of New Orleans will be susceptible as well due to very high winds across the lakefront area, where we could be seeing maybe 40, upwards of 50 mile per hour wind gusts during the day on Friday. So now, as we talked about Friday, let's get into Friday night and now into Saturday. We got another frigid night ahead. We're talking about another hard freeze for just about all areas. And yes, bitter cold wind chills will be persisting. Now, the winds will not be as strong Friday night to Saturday, but still, due to the fact the temperatures will be so cold, we'll still see the potential for single-digit wind chills. And on Saturday as well, we'll talk about that too. Highs struggling to reach the 40s. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Now we're talking about Saturday. There's your temperature Saturday morning on the left, with high temperatures Saturday afternoon on the right. So again, hard freeze conditions for all locations. Yes, that includes the New Orleans area with temperature range likely in that lower 20 degree range. Slidell 13, again, that has a little bit of range to it as well. So another hard freeze likely. But as we get to Saturday afternoon, some locations could briefly go above freezing. Now we're seeing more area-wide coverage of above freezing temperatures may be possible. It still doesn't matter. It's still going to be cold, but it may not be for some areas that have been below freezing all day Friday. We may see a few hours of above freezing on Saturday, and that is regardless of the fact that we have some sunshine that day. So it's just going to be a bitterly cold day during the day on Saturday, especially if you have plans. So I wanted to show this. This is the total hours below freezing from that time frame of early Friday when the front passes through Saturday afternoon, where some locations should briefly go above freezing. This is why this is a high impact event. This is why it could be especially dangerous for sensitive crops. Citrus crops across southeast Louisiana could be susceptible to some damage. And again, if you have sensitive plants, you want to bring them in. You don't want pets outside in anything like this, but if they have to be outside, make sure they have good shelter. But we'll talk more about that coming up too, especially about the pipes as well, since this will be an extended duration hard freeze for many locations. So now as we get into Saturday night, now we're getting into Christmas Eve. And I hate to say it, another frigid night is ahead with another hard freeze again, but maybe mid to upper 20s for the South Shore. Again, talking a little bit more about this, here's your Christmas Day forecast. If you're wondering when you wake up to open presents, Santa hopefully will have a big jacket when he delivers presents across the area because it'll still have temperatures in the teens when we wake up. Temperatures will moderate somewhat into the 40s. It'll still be cold regardless. There's really not much of a difference between 30 and 40s down here. It really is cold as cold. I have to say I did put a near 0% chance. That should be a 0% chance of a white Christmas down here. If those who want one, not looking likely because we will just be seeing a cold day with mostly sunny skies. A beautiful day, but again, just continue to be very cold. Now, we kind of wanted to show this too about just where this stacks up as far as history goes with the forecast low temperatures and where it stacks with normal and record lows. We see at the top, we got Baton Rouge and going across Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. New Orleans, Gulfport, Macomb. So go from left to right for each morning. As you see that some of these records are actually pretty cold, and we're not actually getting that close to some of these records because we've had some very strongly historic Arctic blasts dating back to 1989 and 1983. If anyone listening who's been here around that time frame remembers those brutal cold snaps around Christmas, we're not coming close to it, but it'll still be cold. Look how much below normal we're going to be. We're talking about 15, 20 degrees or so below what we typically would see. Now, here's a kind of a thing I wanted people to, a point I wanted to make across here is by not really paying attention to those temperatures. Yes, it's going to be cold. Those teens and 20s are going to be cold, but it's going to be those wind chills. And this is what we're talking about. Dangerous wind chills. Like I was showing a little bit earlier, there's your minimum wind chill Friday, minimum wind chill on Saturday on the right. Now, this is primarily going to be in the morning time frame where we're going to see these wind chills. During the day when I say, quote, warm up a little bit, I use that term loosely. We'll still be seeing wind chills in the teens. Still not much of a difference there, but we're talking about dangerous wind chills. If anyone has to be outdoors for extended period of time, early in the morning, Friday and Saturday morning, this is going to be a dangerous wind chill. So be aware of that as we move forward here. So kind of going ahead here too, we're going to talk a little bit. This is why we're talking about the impacts when it regards to that wind chill. That wind chill is very, very dangerous, especially when your body heat is removed when we're talking about those very cold temperatures. So just be aware of that too, that this is the type of impacts that we're very much worried about here. It looks like we lost audio. I'm going to kind of check that real testing. Let's see. Looks like we may have lost audio. Let's see here. Okay, testing audio. Can you hear me? All right. All right, looks like the audio was lost there briefly, but we are back. I can hear myself now, so if at any point you can't hear my audio, just let me. Okay, yeah, I just got a confirmation. We're fine, so we'll go back in it here. Again, this is some of the impacts we're talking about, why this is such a significant event, and that's going to be very dangerous. The reason being is that we're going to be seeing temperatures being removed from your body heat. And that's dangerous. That's why we want you to be very much wear layers if you have to be exposed to this type of weather conditions. So going ahead here, here's the 4Ps. We want to talk about the precautions. With Wednesday and Thursday being relatively quiet, now's the time to prepare for the 4Ps, talking about people, pets, plants, and pipes. Check on the elderly. Make sure they have adequate warming. If they don't have anything like blankets, make sure they have them ahead of time. Pets, we were talking about that earlier about bring pets inside. Plants, you should, if they're in containers, make sure you can bring them in. If not, cover them. And pipes, if they're exposed, go ahead and wrap them, especially for areas that are going to be lower than 25 degrees for an extended period of time. Other little safety things too, be aware of carbon monoxide poisoning. If you're doing any type of portable heaters indoors, can be very dangerous. It is a deadly killer. It's a silent killer. Just be aware of that. If you're going to be using a fireplace, also practice safe fireplace safety. Make sure the fire's never left unattended. Make sure your smoke detectors are working and have a fire extinguisher nearby. So we'll go ahead, and it looks like everything's still good with the audio here, so we'll go ahead and go back there. If you did miss that last part, we were just talking about some of the impacts expected with some of the dangerous wind chills Friday and Saturday morning. Again, just prepare for it. It's going to be one of those types of days where, boy, you really just want to get outside and it's going to be so cold. And with that wind, it's going to be even worse. And looking beyond this time frame, beyond after Christmas, there is some potential for some moderation in temperatures. So maybe we'll get back to near normal with time next week. But for now, what we can do now, Wednesday and Thursday, is just prepare for these cold weather and dangerous wind chill conditions that we'll be seeing coming around the corner. So we'll go ahead and end there. Looks like we just crossed the 9 o'clock hour. We appreciate you paying attention and joining me here. And again, follow us on Facebook and Twitter for more updates. We'll be posting these graphics. If you didn't catch those earlier, we'll be posting more graphics later tonight. So take care, stay warm, and thanks for joining. See you later.